Welcome back, frenemies. Episode 59. This is the 757 Talk playoffs.
We
This
are
is
in
playoff
the playoffs.
time.
I know.
Oh my goodness,
well,
man.
One of us is in the playoffs.
Okay. I'm your host called New Sean. And to my right, the commish, the other New Sean, the playoff bound Sean. All right, little applause here. There we go.
Well, thank you.
A special shout out right before we get into all our trash talk in the playoffs here. We got to really, to those who are married in our league, tell your wives thank you.
Yes.
To those wives out there, thank you for
Putting up with us.
Because this doesn't start just in football season. This started in the summertime.
Yeah.
Getting ready and wanting to be in this 6 spots. It used to be 4, now 6 spots. That's controversial. We'll talk about that later. But to get into these playoff spots is what we've been aiming for. This is a brand new season. So to you wives out there and guys listening to it, thank your wife. Because, they have to listen to you, get frustrated about people they don't know.
Yeah, I had a funny little interaction here with me and my wife. I had brought up the fact that, I'm about to be in this 7th spot. I'm about to be in the same place I've been every year, just outside of the playoffs. And I was like, if I lose this game, I don't think I can play fantasy football next year. And she actively started rooting for me to lose this game.
She's like, please stop.
She's like, our life will come back. No. But yeah, it was life or death for me, man. I needed to make this playoffs.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I was rooting for you too, even though it was like kicking my spot. I was like, well, maybe I win. He can still get in just because we need you on the podcast. We need you.
You had an opportunity at the end there. I mean, we could talk a little bit about. So for those of you not in our league, we had quite the drama at the end of the week. We do a half win. I know we've mentioned this before, but the top 6 teams will get a half a win, and that becomes really important. And it became very important at the end of this.
So close.
Tidewater Turtles himself.
I like turtles.
He had a shot
turtle.
to actually make the playoffs. He needed Ryan to get in the top 6. He needed me to get in the top 6, and then I think for you to not.
I had to not win anything.
You had to make sure that Rudolph didn't go off, and he almost did it for you.
Did.
But it was really between, what was it, you, David, and Daniel that were fighting for it in that last one. And then Dalvin Cook got hurt, so I didn't make it in the top 6. And then Ryan's team didn't do it, so it just all lined up perfectly for David, and David's in.
I almost not really cheated, but I tried to do an inside favor. I don't think I told you this. I told Phil.
What, a collusion? You're going to tell the commish?
Kind of.
On air?
On air. So this weekend I'm going to Minnesota, right? And my boss, who's used to coach in the league, most of you guys know him, but he told me, hey, before you get that week you go, let me know. And there's like 3 guys on the staff there in Minnesota. One happened to be tight end coach. And he's calling him up to see if he can get possibly whatever upgrade, field passes, whatever. Don't know if it's gonna happen. But I'll put a call in. So he calls in, but he's leaving a message at the office because it was Monday night. He didn't want to interrupt him on his personal. So he's calling in, but I didn't know he was calling the office phone. So he's coming in there. He said, I'm going, calling Coach so-and-so. I was like, hey, can you tell him I need Rudolph to go off tonight? Game plan wise, he needs to get about 10 catches, 2 touchdowns. He gets there, and my boss Tim was like, shut up. I'm on the phone. Like, can you tell him I need Rudolph? So,
I think
it didn't work.
Through. It was close.
But I was like, hopefully he got that message, but didn't work.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the playoff matchups, man. State of the League is playoff mode. First round coming up. We got a bye week, so round of applause.
Yep, Joe and Phil have made this is the first time we've had this in our league, actually, having the bye weeks. I think it's pretty cool.
And no
I would have liked to be in that group.
It would be nice. But go back to the beginning of the year when we had the episode after the draft. These were usually, from even when Ryan was here, these 2 guys were who we thought would be 1 and 2. And it kind of showed up.
Hey, we're smart.
We are smart. Or I need to draft better. But we thought Phil and Joe in there, so they got a simple bye week. Take a breather, bench your players.
Yep.
They're not doing anything. But enjoy it out there. But let's go to wild card 1. I'm going to label this one. It's Leroyce versus David. Battle of the nice guys. The nicest guys in our leagues. The Reverend and Leroyce. We got 2 Reverends, but we call David Reverend. But he
was here first.
He was there. Yeah, he was in the league first. Mike, you're Reverend too. All right, you're assistant Reverend. But David, who seems to always be up there in the playoffs, Leroy's coming back in this year. It's been a while since he's been in, even before he left for that year or 2. So out of these battle of the nice guys, 2 pretty good lineups coming in. Leroy's got the big names on his side.
Yeah, he's got Lamar Jackson is going to be a big factor in the game. He's got Nick Chubb. He's got Melvin Gordon. He's got Mike Evans. There's a reason he was the 3 seed and was actually trying to get that bye. But the way I see this thing breaking down is it's going to come down to the wire because, like you said, he's got the big players. But he's got some good matchups this week. I think Matt Ryan can take advantage of Carolina's defense that's just kind of been sliding worse and worse. Ezekiel Elliott is playing Chicago, which sounds like a bad matchup, but they've not been very good against the run.
Yeah.
And I just heard today that Tony Pollard isn't practicing. There's a possibility he misses the game. So this could just be, smash Zeke mode where it's just 100% snap count for Zeke. Which would, bode well for David.
Yeah, Devontae Adams playing the Redskins. The hard part is going to be the quarterback spot.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to try to pick up anyone. Doesn't look like he's running with Matt Ryan.
I would go with him. I think if I was David, I would, like I said, Carolina's been, they just got obliterated by the Washington Redskins, and I think Atlanta can get stuff done. Maybe it's me being optimistic because I have Julio Jones, and I need some points this week from Mr. Matt Ryan. But
it's just, the games that we expect Matt Ryan to go off, he hasn't. It's just
true.
really odd. But you're right. Carolina should be a great matchup for him. So this will be fun right now. Good old Sleeper says 59% chance that Leroyce wins. So who I am choosing... the underdog. I am going with the Reverend.
You're going to go with the Reverend, okay.
Because even though the matchups are good on both sides there, Devontae Adams, I think can go off in his matchup.
Yeah.
And then Matt Ryan, that's the wild card for me. He can get you 30 points against Carolina.
Yeah, a big thing it's going to come down to, I think, is Lamar Jackson. He's got another tough matchup. He's playing Buffalo. If he, can continue to do his magic and somehow get over 20 points every single week with that upside of, a 30 to 40 point game, I'm going to stick to my guns. I said I would never doubt you again. And Leroyce, I think Leroyce is going to win this one.
Yeah, if you look at the defense, so he's
just got the better roster.
He's got two defenses going in. We talked about Kareem Hunt in the other podcast. But he's going with like an Eckler.
So that's
instead of, to me, I would put a Kareem Hunt in the flex.
So he's got some decisions to make.
He's got a lot. Amari Cooper on the bench. Let's break it down.
He's got.
I'm not doing anything for 3 weeks, so
yeah, we're gonna help you out. You can blame us when you pick the wrong thing because we told you to. But so he's got a ton of flex options here. He's got Amari Cooper. He's got Tyler Lockett, and he's got Kareem Hunt sitting on his bench.
Jeez,
I think you might be in for some pain this week, Leroyce.
Yeah.
If for some reason you pick the wrong guy, I think it's going to be one of those weeks where you're going to look at your bench and go, I could have started so-and-so and I would have won this matchup. So let's see. For that flex spot, see, James Washington, yes, it's a fantastic matchup, but it's Duck Hodges. It's a third-string quarterback.
He's got him in his wide receiver, 1 or 2 right now.
Yeah, I would be afraid of that. If you listened to the podcast earlier, I had mentioned that I would be willing to start Tyler Lockett. It's really close for me between Tyler Lockett and Amari Cooper, but I honestly would start either of them over James Washington, I think.
Yeah, so I'm really wondering about the James Washington pick there. And I agree with you, Sean. Any of those other guys, I would put Cooper. Even though it's against the Bears, I'd still put Cooper there. It's a Thursday night. Usually offenses roll out better.
Yeah. So, I mean... So we got to give him a pick here. Who would you put in that? You could rotate it around for kind of a flex spot there because he's got a wide receiver.
I would take Washington out, put Cooper in, and then at the flex with Eckler.
You'd put Kareem Hunt in your start of the week.
He's going against Jackson. Oh yeah, because it's Cincinnati. Because Eckler still has to. It's really the same guy. Who's got more boom bust?
Yeah.
Stuff. The boom is with Kareem Hunt over Eckler.
I think what he may be thinking, because I kind of, when we'll get to my matchup, I'll
go through my process.
Yes. Yeah, you want to. It's a safety net.
Right.
It's like if for some reason Gordon was to go down, or if for some reason the game plan shifts and they're down by a lot and Eckler's on the field a lot, at least he's getting all those San Diego running back points. Which, I mean, Jacksonville's not a terrible matchup. They've been kind of downhill since Jalen Ramsey.
I love the depth of your team, Leroyce. Yeah. I had no depth the last couple of weeks. I think
Leroyce is primed to win this thing if Joe's Christian McCaffrey just doesn't kill us all. But
I'm rolling with my boy David just because I think that Jackson Thrive is going to second guess himself and start the wrong dudes. I really think it is tough that way.
All right. Well,
So that's mine. And who are you going
I
with?
could talk about matchups forever, but
Yes.
we'll go to. I'm gonna go with Leroyce because I think I'm just like I said. I'm not gonna doubt this man again. So Leroyce, you got this, bud. I love you, David.
He does.
I would love nothing more for you to
Hey, David.
play me next week in the playoffs.
I jump over Sean on your friend list, okay? Like if we had MySpace back in the day when you had your top 8 and you were mad at someone, you moved over on the MySpace thing. Yeah. I jump Sean, okay? I'm in your top 5, 4. Anyway, so let's go to wild card 2. I call these wild card games because they kind of are. We've got what I call the cutthroat back alley fight between the doctor himself, Tim James. He'll use a scalpel, and you, Sean, who Ryan thinks would beat up a bunch of
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but
flesh-eating things on an island. If you listened to that episode a couple weeks ago,
Yep.
which was out of nowhere. But Tim and Sean, first off, hey everybody, let's give a standing ovation. Yes, Sean is in the playoffs. We never thought this would
finally.
happen.
So we had a pretty funny chat exchange. For those of you not in our league, the new guy, your brother Mike, he was like, I think his plan worked. We expanded our league to 12 teams, and so I've finished in 5th place for 4 straight years.
4 straight
now,
years, guys.
5 straight years because
Yeah,
I got
you're right.
5th again, and we've expanded the playoffs to 6 teams. So if so facto, I'm in now that playoffs, and my plan worked. No, that wasn't my plan. My plan was to make the playoffs, and this, I'm not going to lie, it was definitely a determining factor of going to 12. David did promise me that if we didn't go to 12, that he would still do 6 teams with a 10-team league. So just throwing that out for all you.
The Reverend said it.
Yeah, the Reverend said it.
And I like the 12-team thing because I thought, as much as the guys hated spreading the wealth there, I thought 12 was a lot more competitive than having stacked rosters at 10.
Yeah.
That's to me. I know a lot of guys didn't like that change, but when it's, the usual is this one way with 12, we needed to go to that. And we brought 2 good guys in.
Yeah.
And one of them made the playoffs.
Yes, very true.
So,
Hold on.
here.
I gotta
Oh,
play
wait.
this. I was looking for some type of drop. Here we go.
Here we go.
I made the playoffs.
This is what that was like playing in your head over and over again when Monday night ended.
My emotions were going to be in so many different places depending on what happened this week.
I get so lost.
I might not be here. I would be probably still crying in my room if I had lost to Mike this week.
I was like, I just went to bed Monday night, and I was like, waking up, I just wanted to see what the standings were because I get lost in the whole. If this goes here and here, I was like, just tell me.
As we found out from the accountant last week, this is very complicated stuff when we have this half win.
I was like, Daniel, just tell me.
Yeah, just tell me.
Tell me what happened. So, in this one, let me get the matchups. Let's break this down too. I want to see how biased you are in here. All right, so we got the commission, the Taj Mahal.
All right, so I guess we'll start with me. I'm actually here, so I can tell you what's going through my head. But
I'll try to talk for Tim.
The biggest things I'm concerned about with my team are I'm going to start Tyreek Hill, but Tyreek Hill is playing New England, the hardest matchup for wide receivers. So that to me really caps his upside. He can always catch a long bomb, and that's why he's in my lineup because you have to have him in there for that possibility. But I don't think it's going to be, this torching situation that the Kansas City is going to go up. New England lost last week. They're going to want to be in this game. Then my other hard decision is at quarterback. Oh my gosh, this has been I kind of weathered the storm pretty well with Kyler through the beginning of the season, but he's let me down lately.
Last week was awful.
It looked like it was going to be a pretty good matchup.
That killed me in my church guild, my Yahoo league.
Yeah.
Playoff contention. Kyler Murray doing bad. All hope was
So I got the bad feelings towards you, Kyler. So it's really hard to put him in my starting lineup. As far as talent goes, he still is like a top 6 quarterback on the season. He's got that rushing baseline. I think he had like 2 points all the way till like the end of the game, and then he ran for a couple yards and got a touchdown at the end there to save it. 13 points I think is what he got last week. That's not going to completely kill you. But let's see, who did I pick up? Oh, no, I didn't pick up. So thank you for stealing Ryan Fitzpatrick there.
Who stole him?
Joe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And guys that aren't in, aka Ryan, don't pick up guys off the waivers.
No, I disagray.
Really,
I think it'd be fun.
I don't know. For me, let it to the 6 guys that are duking it out. But I was about to ask her, would you look back at the waiver and see who you can stream?
I'm probably going to take a look at it. That's that's where one of my big decisions is going to come, is do I go with somebody with a really good matchup or do I just stick it out with Kyler? I think I'm going to, my team is going to go as him. The other decision I have to make is Dalvin Cook. On the main podcast, we talked about this a little bit. He's injured. It's looking like he's going to play, but it puts me in a rough spot here because he has an amazing matchup, but I think they're going to be very cautious with him. He could be on a snap count. If they get up big on Detroit, which is very possible, they're probably just going to say, you know what, you sit the rest of the game down, Alexander Mattison, come on in. And my plan, kind of in what I was thinking as I saw the injury happen, and I'm like, oh, great, here goes my life. I'm not going to win the playoffs now because of it. But then I remembered I have Alexander Mattison on my bench, and so I could put him in. We talked about this with Leroyce, but I could put him in my flex, kind of secure myself. No matter what happens, I'm going to get that amazing matchup against Detroit, and I should be secure in that way. The problem I have is I have really good options to put in that flex spot.
Julio Jones at the flex right now.
Yes, exactly. I'm starting really. It's really between. It doesn't really matter the order they're in. I'll probably end up switching it around actually, but Alshon is really my flex probably. Julio's a little scary too. He's coming off of an injury, but you can't sit Julio Jones, and so it's Alshon's your start of the week here. He's playing the Giants. He had like a 25-point game for me last week. And it's just going to be really hard to put in Alexander Mattison, who could get 2 points if Dalvin plays the whole game.
All you need from Dalvin, even if they get a short snap count, you need an early touchdown.
That is what it will come down to.
You need an early TD with 50 yards.
I will start sweating bullets if we're getting into the third quarter and he still hasn't gotten into that end zone. So
yeah, anyone else from the Vikings that score, you're going to be mad.
Yeah,
like no Rudolph.
Yeah.
It's supposed to go to Dalvin at first and goal. But what else there? Anything else you want to look at?
Not really. I mean, Singletary is just by necessity. He doesn't have a great matchup against Baltimore, but he's been getting a pretty good amount of work. He's done pretty well with it. My other options are pretty much non-existent at running back. I picked up Darwin Thompson. He's playing New England. That's more of just a hope and a prayer that the other running backs are out for a while and I can put him in eventually. Robbie Anderson has got a pretty good matchup. I could put him. He's my start of the week. But I like your start of the week better. Alshon to me is just more secure in his role there. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. If you want to go over the Tim side a little bit.
All right. So matchups, I really favor Tim. Aaron Rodgers goes going against the Redskins. Awesome.
Okay, so not according to Tim. Tim texted me on Tuesday morning, and he goes, your matchups are so much better than mine. Yeah, and I'm like, we both don't have great matchups.
We just referenced this. So the running back spot is where it's going to get Tim. Because you've got a guy on the bench that I would probably put in your lineup, and Rashad Penny.
Shh.
Remember, I was supposed to give it just free advice.
Oh, come on.
But the hard part is, which one do you bench?
If you listen to the main podcast, then he heard this anyway.
Yes.
So.
But you call Mr. Disappointment, a.k.a. Saquon Barkley. He's got Eli back. As Sean said earlier, so Sean, this is your advice, that this is going to help Saquon because Eli's captain check down and always hit Saquon out of the backfield. David Montgomery against Dallas. I don't know. I would go Penny there, but Montgomery is starting running back. I see where you're going. The receivers aren't fun. They're not at all.
Bad matchups.
So
this is where you get into the red and where he says he's got bad matchups. Which he does have bad matchups.
Both these matchups not good for you. You need lucky touchdowns going in there. Kelsey, New England.
Yeah.
But guess
Same
what?
Same as my Tyreek. So.
They've got.
It's going to come down to who gets that one touchdown.
They got Patrick Mahomes, and I was watching Mahomes a lot last week because again I was trying to get in a playoff spot. He still loves Kelsey a ton, so you're going to see targets there. I don't like the guys match up against Green Bay.
Yeah.
So maybe I take back, Tim. Your matchups aren't that great. And it's funny because you start the Patriots defense, which some of your guys are playing against.
Yeah, that's painful.
Outside of the quarterback in there, sitting on your bench, Rashad Penny is the only one I would actually look at putting over somebody in the running back spot. Your receivers, not so good. Look at the waiver again.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and give our picks here. I'll start off. I have confidence that my team can win this game.
Okay.
If I have to put my life on it, I'm betting with Tim. The reason being, Dalvin Cook, that's just such a wild card. We don't know what's going to happen with that. My quarterback choice that we already talked about is going to be difficult. I can see, me starting Kyler and getting another crap game from him, and that could be my downfall. And the biggest reason I think Tim's going to win is because he has Aaron Rodgers versus Washington. And no matter how bad all those other matchups are, that man could completely blow up, and he could put you on his shoulders and carry you to that next round, Tim. And that's kind of what I think is going to happen. I think there's going to be a huge game from Rodgers. He'll be able to pick up the slack of whoever doesn't have a good game on the rest of his roster. I think Saquon has a good chance to have a pretty good game. So, you just get a couple of other guys to get you some touchdowns, and I'm out of the playoffs. But I'm a pessimistic guy. I'm a Dolphins fan. I expect to lose always.
My gut was going with Sean, but it's all in Dalvin Cook. And if you can find a quarterback to replace Kyler Murray, I'm just not trusting him. But the rest of the team I like, even Singletary against Baltimore. The rest I think you actually beat out Tim. But I'm going to go with Tim as well, even though the percentage from Sleeper's not giving it to him, because he just needs 2 guys to get 30 points each.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers and one of the running backs, and he'll be right in there. Because everyone else, if they can sprinkle in points, that might be enough to get over the hump there. The matchups aren't great, but it's kind of like if the Patriots D does really well, it hurts his Kelsey, but he still gets defensive points.
Yeah, he might, it might come down to whatever Belichick's game plan is against Kansas City, because I have Tyreek and he has Travis Kelsey. So if they decide the weapon they need to take away is Travis Kelsey, then, I might get a big touchdown from Tyreek Hill, which will win me the game. Or if they decide Tyreek Hill is our main option that we need to completely shut down, then, there might be a touchdown in there for Travis Kelsey.
And this is how stupid this is. If Saquon if Daniel Jones was starting, then I would not like Saquon. But because Eli has a chance and more likely will start, that's why I think we can see a Saquon of old, even against a tough Philly run defense.
Yep.
These 2 games are going to be awesome matchups.
Yep. I think they're going to be pretty close games. No like easy cake matchups for anybody here.
No, not at all. So those were our choices here. Our next segment, I'm going to put on my coaching hat. That is my profession here. I am the 3-time champ in 4 years. That'll be out of 5 years here. I'm not used to being outside of the playoffs. Every time I make the playoffs, I win. All I do is win, no matter what. No matter what, till this year.
Till this year.
Till this year. But I want to take this upon myself. All right, cue that Eye of the Tiger music going on right now. But I'm talking to you. The rest of you guys can listen because this could help you out too. Ryan, maybe. But Sean, if you got some questions for me, I am a wealth of knowledge.
It's just so humble.
I almost brought those 3 rings, but as you said, it doesn't really work well with the camera because the shine is just too bright. So I had to leave those home.
I did say that. Yeah.
Back in the vault going in. But yeah, I have wisdom. Ask me anything, and I'll tell you how I win those championships, even if it's by little points or with an asterisk.
All right. Well, you are the expert. I can't disagree with the fact that you have 3 wins with an asterisk.
My hat says Fantasy Stud with no asterisk.
Oh, with no asterisk. Maybe I need to get a Sharpie out here. All right. So let's start it out here. Just, I guess in general, what should I do to prepare for these playoffs?
Well, one thing I did a lot in the past year in the playoff run is I posted a picture of my opponent.
Okay.
Right in there.
Tim's a good-looking man. I'm all right with this.
2 looking places. One was in the bathroom. So if I'm taking a dump, I'm like, I'm taking a dump on you. If I'm taking a number 1, it's like I'm pissing on you. Right? Get that mentality. Well, I wake up and go to bed. That's my enemy. And the next one I put in the garage, threw darts at their faces.
Oh,
That's
wow.
what I did. Yeah,
Going
Joe,
straight,
right to Phil.
Evil genius here.
You got to hate your opponent.
Yeah.
Now, I know Tim's a friend of yours. This week, he's not.
He's the enemy.
He's a friend to me. All right, so that's what I did. That's what I would prepare for.
All right, and then so we've compared you to Eli Manning. I want to know what's the secret to, the secret sauce to get that Eli Manning complete, nobody thinks you can do it.
It's all about the face that Eli makes, right? You just when you go in you
just have to be.
You just got to be like the whole time, like you don't know what you're doing, and then you're like, oh, I won. That's what I do. I'm on a podcast for whatever reasons. You write great notes for me to say, but honestly, I don't know what I'm doing. Like Eli was, ride a player. I wrote Gurley, the 3 titles.
Come on, Dalvin.
That was my success. Now I gave you Dalvin. I'm very mad at myself. So I broke my Eli rule, but that's all you got to do. You just got to make the face and just Well, have people say, hey, how do you set your lineups and do your homework? On the toilet. Have you caught a theme here? A lot of toilet time this week, Sean. A lot of toilet time.
I can see that.
Studying, setting lineups while you're sitting on the can. That's what I did.
All right, and then another question here for you. What's the secret to winning the playoffs? You know, Chris wrote this one. I'm not going to lie here because
all these questions are written by me.
I can't keep a straight face with this one here. What is the secret to winning the title every year you're in the playoffs? Because that is what Chris has done.
Oh, it's straight up voodoo dolls.
Voodoo dolls. Okay.
Yes, straight up voodoo dolls. Print out a face of your opponent just like there. You put it on around your house. Put it on there. And you stab at them. Just stab at them. And then if you want to go even more, you stab their players that are playing that game. It's a weird thing, all right, man? Like straight up voodoo stuff. But it worked. It worked. Only in playoff time.
I can't argue with the results.
I don't do it regular season time. Playoff time, that it gets tight. You got to go in there. I got to hate the opponents. Even if it's Leroyce. You can't hate Leroyce. But you got to hate Leroyce if you got that matchup.
Yep.
Moving down to the championship round.
All right, and then last here, how should I think I already have this one covered because I got into the playoffs, but how should I rig the playoffs?
How should you rig the playoffs? You first just need to like slightly throw in points there with sleeper, like
I am commish, so this
little
is
fraction of points.
This become very easy to rig things.
Little fraction of points there. I accidentally put it on the chat that I forgot to send a check to Leroyce, so I literally paid money for my wins. I was trying to get him to bench Lamar to get me into playoffs. So don't do what I did, forget to send the check earlier.
Yeah, do it in person.
Do it in person. Yes, and last year I didn't make it controversial, but, I paid Joe.
You paid me, too, to make that switch in your lineup.
Yeah, I did. I did. We had to change the rule there, but it's okay. All right? You gotta pull the fill move.
You got to do
you gotta find the loopholes and just expose it. Look at Phil. We could ask Phil's secret. He's always got the best team every year.
The statement, this is where the principle of why I won't cheat.
Oh, why?
Do you see where it's gotten, Phil?
Has
Has Phil won a championship?
No.
He's going to win this year now. Sorry for calling you out, Phil.
But that's what I do. I rig things. I get some crazy little voodoo magic. All right. And I hate the guys that I face in the playoffs. That's what you got to do to win, man.
I will take this all into account, and I will train hard to...
burn all your social media accounts, block everyone. You're not talking on the group chat. You're hating them so much for that title.
All right.
Because that $12 ring means something.
It does. Unfortunately, I have to admit, it means the world to me.
Yeah. I love it so much, it just hangs on my little, next to my front door. I don't know why.
Kiss it as you go to sleep?
As I leave the house, I'm realizing, you're a champ, man. Look at that. You're a 3-time champ.
Whenever you're feeling down, you're a champ.
You're a champ.
All right. Well, that's what we got for you guys this week. I want some active chats this weekend.
Yes.
Follow along. I know it sucks for those of you who didn't make the playoffs, but you get some entertainment here. You get to watch what happens. You get to see the meltdown when I lose to Tim because Dalvin Cook goes down on the first play. All that type of stuff.
That's pretty cool. And then us who are in the consolation, the loser bracket, we actually still advance.
Yeah, we'll find out if Ryan listens to this podcast. But I renamed the poop trophy to Ryan Meckes. So.
Yeah, it's the Ryan Meckes trophy.
Because it's all yours.
He will not listen. I doubt it. But let's keep referencing the trophy and see if he does anything on the chat.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. And we will see you next week.
Deuces, Tim.